Are you tired of studying laws? Look at this topic. You may change your mind. This is An. She is from Vietnam. She works for a bank as a card services representative. In order to get a promotion, she's taking an MBA course and has to attend class every night. Tonight, she's learning about the US legal environment, and you can see that she's bored and sleepy. She thinks, why do I have to learn such an impractical and lengthy chapter? I'm Vietnamese, and the Vietnamese legal system is absolutely different from the US one. I may never need this knowledge in the rest of my life. Too tired of the long working day, she tried to get some sleep in the short break, and she dreamed. Anne, I'm sorry. The bank cannot hold your position anymore. You've just married, and you'll soon have a baby. We're afraid that you cannot do your job as well as before. But why? I can do my job. You cannot fire me like that, boss. Please don't fire me. It's not fair at all. Calm down, Anne. Calm down. Who are you? Just leave me alone. I've been fired, and I don't know where to find justice. Calm down, Anne. You know me. I'm Carmen Halloran. But how? You're the woman mentioned in the textbook, aren't you? Yes, I am. I know how you feel right now. I used to be just like you. After having worked at the facility as a part-time process associate for 4 years, I applied for a full-time position at the Timken Company in 2007. And you know what? They refused to hire me because managers believed that I would be unable to work full-time and care for my disabled child. So, what did you do? Oh, it's really a long story. I will tell you now. We have a legal system with many regulations protecting the equal employment opportunities of any citizen. And we're not born with such system. We have been fighting all day long to have it. The first important law I want to tell you is the 13th Amendment of the Constitution. Slavery used to be common in the US before the year 1865. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery in the US, and now nobody can treat us as slaves. The 13th Amendment eradicated slavery, and 1 year later, in 1866, the Reconstruction Civil Rights Act will attempt to further this goal. The act grants all citizens the right to make, perform, modify, and terminate contracts, and enjoy all benefits, terms, and conditions of the contractual relationship. In 1868, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution was signed. It provides equal protection for all citizens under laws to state actions. In the 20th century, there were no important regulations regarding equal employment opportunity until 1963, when the Equal Pay Act took effect. The Equal Pay Act requires that men and women in the same organization who are doing equal work must be paid equally. Then, in 1964, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act was approved. This is the major legislation regulating equal employment opportunity in the US. It was the direct result of the civil rights movement of the early 1960s, led by such individuals as Martin Luther King Jr. Title VII prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Passed in 1967 and amended in 1986, Age Discrimination in Employment Act prohibits discrimination in employment against individuals 40 years of age and older. And you're guaranteed that you can work until your 90s as long as you can do your job. Next, the Vocational Rehabilitation Act of 1973 requires executive agencies, constructors, and subcontractors of the federal government to engage in affirmative action for individuals with disabilities. And similar to the Rehabilitation Act, Vietnam-era Veterans Readjustment Act of 1974 requires constructors and subcontractors of the federal government to take affirmative action toward employing Vietnam veterans. The next one may be the law you are most concerned about, and the Pregnancy Discrimination Act. It is an amendment to the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. It makes illegal discrimination on the basis of pregnancy, childbirth, or related medical conditions as a form of unlawful sex discrimination. Then, I want to mention one of the most far-reaching acts concerning the management of human resources, American with Disabilities Act of 1990. This act protects individuals with disabilities from being discriminated against in the workplace. Last but not least, the Civil Rights Act of 1991. One major change in EEO law under Civil Rights Act 1991 has been the addition of compensatory and punitive damages when intentional or reckless discrimination is proven. That means both disparate treatment and disparate impact are prohibited. Please note that not only the legislative branch of the federal government can develop laws and regulations, the President can issue executive orders. Two executive orders directly affect human resource management. They are Executive Order 11246, issued by President Johnson, and Executive Order 11478, signed by President. These executive orders do not require congressional approval. However, they still have the force of law. Okay, I see. But how could you benefit from such laws? Yes, let me tell you how. The two agencies responsible for the enforcement of these laws and executive orders are Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, and the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs, OFCCP. While the OFCCP is the agency responsible for enforcing the executive orders, which cover companies doing business with the federal government, the EEOC is responsible for enforcing most of the EEO law, such as Title VII, the Equal Pay Act, or called the Americans with Disabilities Act. Individuals who feel that they have been discriminated against must file a complaint with EEOC. So did I. So, what was the consequence? Yes, EEOC investigated my case and alleged that the company's decisions was based on an unfounded gender stereotype that the mother of a disabled child would necessarily be the primary caregiver because most managers did hire men with disabled children. And you know what? The Timken company agreed to a $120,000 settlement over this sex and disability discrimination suit. Wow! Incredible! But it happened in the US, not in Vietnam for sure. Oh, wait a minute. Who knows? If you and your people start making tiny changes since today in your organizations and in your daily life, anything can happen. I know it because we did it already. Ann, wake up! Wake up! The short break is over. Short break is over. So I have just dreamed. It's just a dream, but it's really a nice dream.